Your homework is to memorize this and write it 15 times.
Welcome to the coolest, hippest half hour of fun on TV. This is Brain Stew with Jennifer Pulley.
Coming up on Brain Stew, we grab a brush, a mouse, a splash of color, and a hip art teacher to discover some interesting forms of art. What kind of impression does this painting make on you? This artist was trying to make a point. Look closely, and you'll find lots of points. Plus, we meet some artists who use a computer to create all the art you see each week on Brain Stew. Who knew art could be this much fun? Stick around. Brain Stew is next.
Welcome to Brain Stew. Hey, what am I doing? Well, I'm hanging out here at the Chrysler Museum of Art in Norfolk, Virginia. What am I doing? I'm drawing a picture. I guess you could kind of say I'm making art. What is art? Art is something giving high aesthetic satisfaction to the viewer or listener. Art is a skill acquired by experience or study. Art is even the use of skill and imagination in the production of things of beauty. There, I'm done. What do you think it is? Well, it's me, wearing a Brain Stew t-shirt. What?
I don't know.
You don't think this picture, this stick figure picture of me is art?
Nope.
You know, I'm gonna ask somebody else. Hey, you! What do you think of this?
Good composition.
Really? You like it?
Oh, yeah.
You see, everybody's got their own opinion on what they consider to be art. It's called art criticism. People critique or evaluate an artist's work. Not everybody likes the same artist or even the same artwork. The world would be a boring place if everybody did. That brings me to another point. Art is not just drawing or painting. Art has many forms. Singing, dancing, acting in plays, or even acting on the big screen.
Cut!
If you just take a second and look around, you'll see art is everywhere. Buildings are art.
This building's designers created it to look just like a ship. Cool.
Speaking of art, take a look at this baby. This is a piece of art. This car here was built 20 years ago, but its original shape was designed over 30 years ago. This shape was so appealing to some people that its designers decided they didn't want to change its original look. They figured, hey, we're selling these because of its shape, why change it?
Hey, take a look at this 1997 model. Not much different from the 1978 model.
I told you art was all around. You are not going to want to miss what's next. We're going to go meet a teacher friend of mine. Her name is Sharon Clohessy. Yep, she's a teacher just like me. Well, not exactly like me. She's an art teacher. She teaches art. She's also a practicing artist. Let's go talk to her. Hey, Sharon, will you pass me a blue?
Sure, here you go.
Hey, you guys, I'm here with my friend Sharon Clohessy. She's an art teacher.
Hi, I'm a friend of Jen's. We work together.
Yeah, we used to teach together a little while ago. Now, as you can see, we're coloring.
Oh,
Yours looks better than mine.
She just shows you people don't always have to be peach, beige, tan, or brown.
They can be any color they want. Well, you know, you're the art teacher, so I'm going to ask you, how do you teach art? Help.
Well, you know, I do like many different ways. Sometimes I'll start off with an idea and I'll just talk to the kids.
What about like drawing or painting? I mean, how do you teach that?
Drawing people is really hard. So usually if I was going to do something like that, I would actually start off with the face, the proportions of how high the eyes are, the nose, and the ears, and actually draw with the kids. And you know, the important thing is that everybody has fun with art. Nobody has to be a perfect artist. That's why you're in the classroom, is to have fun and enjoy yourself, and that's what's so important. And everybody is different, and that's what makes it fun. It wouldn't be pretty boring if everybody was the same, everybody drew the same.
That's right.
So you're going to find that some people will be better at drawing figures, other people will be better at painting, other kids will be better at doing clay. So usually throughout the year, you do something that everybody's going to enjoy. Look, good example here. See, we both drew something, but we had different colors.
Yeah.
There.
That's a good example of that. Are you an artist?
Yes.
And that's what's awesome. Now, your house is filled with all the
do
artwork you've created.
I got a few pieces around
You,
here.
well,
yeah.
that's an understatement. I mean, look at this. Everything is art around here. This is great. What do you consider to be art?
I think that art is different to each person. It depends. It's something different to me. It may be different to another artist. I think the most important thing is that art needs to grab the viewer or make you want to look at the piece of artwork. If an artist has intent, if that means they have a message that they want to say. It could be color, like I love color.
I can tell.
Okay, right. So that's the
You're
one
kidding
thing
me.
that I like. Color, bright color, strong color.
What have you done? You have to see sculptures, I see photographs, I see paintings. I mean, you've got it all here.
Well, over here on the right, this purple piece I love. This is a piece that I worked with at my sculpture class. And what we did was I gave each student a piece of wood and some small pieces. They glued it to the piece of wood, and then as a group, we all nailed it to
These small
this
pieces
board.
you gave them, right
I
here.
gave each student a piece of wood, and then all these little tiny pieces, so they could glue it any way they wanted to. That was like their idea.
Hello.
That's my telephone. 1 minute.
Sharon, I'm glad you kept that short. You know, we're on a
Sorry.
time schedule here.
I put my machine on so you won't be interrupted anymore.
And then these are photographs. And did you take these photographs?
I'm into photography as well, and these are actually right here at my house. This one's across the street. I get the most beautiful sunsets, and so one night I saw the sun starting to set, grabbed my camera, ran across the street, and took the photograph.
So what else did you see? You got sculptures, you've got photography.
Yeah.
I mean, paintings.
And then, paintings. I got some paintings over there. I'd be glad to show you.
Oh, come on, let's go. Sharon, is this where you get your milk from?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and try it.
Now we're in the 6th bedroom of your house, right?
Right. Yes, on the 5th floor.
That's right, that's right.
Sure.
What do you have here?
Some more artwork. Now over
Yes.
there you saw like three-dimensional artwork, which is like sculpture in the round.
Sure.
Here you have your two-dimensional, which is more flat. I'm an acrylic painter,
Okay.
and I'm what you would call an abstract artist. Let me show you. Give you an example.
Okay.
This is where this came from.
Hey.
First, I painted the background turquoise, and you know what this is? Guess what this might be?
Magazine? No.
It's a magazine picture, but you know what this might be? It's a sofa.
What?
Took the sofa, tore it up in little pieces, and arranged it on this paper. That's nothing but a sofa. That's where I get my ideas. Many people have trouble getting ideas. You just
Sure.
can't and that's why I find kids really have. Oh, I can't think of anything to draw. Well, I look at magazines, pictures, photographs. I mean, even I have trouble coming up with the ideas, so I
course.
know how they feel. I
So
can
they-
totally relate to that.
So you just did that first. That's
Yep.
the first thing you did.
Mhm.
Then you turned it into this painting.
It's like my sketch, my prototype, and then I painted that on the canvas.
All right, and this is another sculpture?
This is a mobile.
A mobile, okay, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And what I do is I went to the hardware store. That's another thing that's fun about art. And I tell my kids, you don't need like expensive art materials to make art.
Yeah.
This is stuff that I got at the hardware store. These are washers.
Yep, they're all
This
different
is
sizes.
Like, exactly. This is like that fishing tackle wire.
Yep.
These are those little fish swivel things that you put on the end of the
They have a
fishing
hook.
line.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And this is just some wire that I got, pulled it apart, mobile, instant
Boom.
mobile.
And your lipstick here.
Aha. This is a stovepipe that I got. They loved me coming to this hardware store. They'd say, Sharon, what are you making now? And so I got this. It's like a stovepipe, like
Yeah.
a chimney. These are some sequins. This is plaster. And I poured like a mold, and I had to sand it off. And then I painted it like lipstick. The funniest thing is I had this in a show one time, and somebody actually tried to use it.
Oh gosh, they have some big lips.
Yeah.
Sharon, I just want to thank you for letting me come into your house
had a great
and
time.
see
Anytime.
all your stuff.
Come back anytime.
Oh, I will. I will. Dinner tomorrow night? No, just
I don't cook, I just paint. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, you do plenty of that. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate all the good tips that you gave us.
Great.
I'm surrounded by artists. I mean, everywhere, okay? Here, behind the camera. Could you give me more of an artistic angle, please, sir?
All right, hold your horses.
Thank you very much. Up next, we're back to the Chrysler Museum of Art. I've got a friend there named Rick. He's going to talk to us about classic art, way back when. We're talking with Sharon about modern art. That's what we talked about, and she is mod, okay? Now, we're going to wrap this thing up. Okay.
Yeah,
You're gonna
just
say-
get out of my house, will you? Before you ruin everything.
All right, good. We got to get outside. So
So Rick, I understand we're here at the Chrysler Museum of Art in Norfolk, Virginia. Can you tell me a little bit about the Chrysler Museum of Art?
Well, we had been the Norfolk Museum of Arts and Science from 1933, and in 1972, thanks to Walter P. Chrysler Jr., we became the Chrysler Museum of Fine Art, and we are the beneficiary of his marvelous collection.
Rick, this place is huge. Where have you taken me? Where are we?
Well, this is our skylit Impressionist gallery, Jennifer, and this is loaded with works from our permanent collection. And behind us are some Monets, which we have on loan from the Boston Museum of Fine Arts.
What's an Impressionist?
Well, they were a group of French painters, a very cutting-edge group of young men and women in France in the late 1800s who were totally consumed with light, the effect of light on all sorts of objects. What we have here are landscapes, and that seems to characterize their work, but color and light. And it was almost scientific in approach, and yet they came away with some of the most exciting pieces that to this day capture our imagination.
Wow, and we're standing here in front of...
One of the masters, yeah. Monet is considered the father of the Impressionist movement.
And Monet, Claude Monet, correct?
Claude, thank you, yeah.
Now, Rick, I know you didn't personally know Claude Monet, but...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, do you know a little bit about him? I mean, what's the big deal? Like, why is he here?
Well, he was the fellow that took the lead in that school of Parisian artists that took their vision to the countryside, and that is their occupation with color and taking oil paints. Of course, these are oil paintings.
I was going to ask you what kind of paint he used.
Another thing that makes Monet very a positive example is that in his lifetime he was a successful artist.
Okay, so he sold works.
He did indeed.
And made money. And
yes, happily.
That's great.
Good model.
That's great. Now, Rick, I kind of get a headache a little. When I look at this picture, it's like all these little tiny dots. What's up with this?
Well, this is an example of pointillism, and it's by a master by the name of Paul Signac, and they took the allure of light that regaled the Impressionists and simplified it. And they even took light and put it in its simplest form, which are dots, as you can see.
Just little dots.
Absolutely.
Now, Rick, most of these paintings were painted around the 1900s. It's now 1997. That's 97 years later.
Why isn't the paint faded?
Well, the masters use oil paint, and oil is the most durable of painting mediums. It's a strong substance. That's one of the reasons it takes so darn long to dry. The masters would use nothing else. And in terms of the ability of a painting this old to look this new, it's care. It has to do with care. Obviously, collectors are going to take care of their possessions. Certainly, it's our job as a museum to take care of our paintings.
Exactly.
And they are cleaned very carefully and very scientifically. It's just a case of care.
I guess that explains why when I was in elementary school, or when these kids were in elementary school, they bring home a painting and they slap it on the refrigerator, and in a couple of weeks or a year, it's kind of yellow and faded, I guess, because it wasn't made of oil.
Correct.
Correct, and it wasn't protected like these have been protected.
And these are done on canvas, and canvas is a perfect surface for the oil paints, and you and I used paper.
Rick, from Impressionism to Realism to...
Abstract.
What is abstract art? Abstract.
Yeah, we think of Picasso, for example, was one of the masters of abstract art, and Matisse was certainly a player, and all the works in this gallery are representative of that dynamic, and that's just a case of professional artists, just like children, having fun.
Yeah, I mean, it looks weird. It's different.
Well, it's easy for us to say that we could do it. The good news is that we could, and the good news is that Matisse, in this case, did.
Look at that.
And that should show us that we can do apples, and we can do apples on a stand, and it can look good, and it can be fine art.
Rick, we were in a room full of paintings. Now we're in a room full of glass. What do we call this sculptured glass?
Well, this is modern. It's sculpture. It is modern. Glass is, on one hand, it's man's oldest synthetic. It goes back to ancient times. It has a practical use, as we all know.
Sure.
But what's exciting today with modern art is that it's being used as a medium of expression. And as you can see from all the shapes and the colors and the sizes and the points of view, it's wonderfully colorful.
Speaking of colorful, I mean, how can we miss this big green object back here of glass? This is wonderful. What is this, Rick?
This is simply a work by Dale Chihuly, who is one of the masters in the field, and again, a young artist. And he's simply having fun, which is really one of the key purposes of doing art. And as you can see, glass, unlike any other medium, has an affinity for light. We're talking about light
Sure.
again.
No, wait a minute. That's like the Impressionists.
Exactly right. So in their own way, they are following in the footsteps of the Impressionists. They're having fun with the medium, they're tantalizing us with a new application, and they're showing us what can be done.
History has a tendency to repeat itself.
And get better, I think.
And get better. I have a last kind of question for you. We've been talking about art. What's your definition of art?
Well, each of us is a creative individual, and art is the means by which we can express ourselves. And that can apply to a variety of mediums, as you well know.
Thank you so much for your tour, part of this museum. And I want to tell you guys to make sure that you come out to the Chrysler Museum of Art or any local museum, wherever you are, because these paintings might not be around forever.
That's right. They, like everything, are not infinite, but they're here now and to be enjoyed.
Hey, I'm here at the Art Center in Norfolk, Virginia, a place filled with artists and their work. You wouldn't believe it, there's so much art in here. There's paintings, sculptures, photographs, ceramics, and even jewelry, darling. Even edible art. Hey, this is half-eaten. Shane? Anyway, the reason why we're here is to see a friend of mine, Ray. He is not only an artist, but he's also a teacher. He teaches kids just like you about art and what you can do if you want to become an artist. Hey, 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 hey! What are you doing? What are you doing? Ray is waiting. We gotta go. Stop doodling. Ray?
Yeah.
You have a second?
Yeah.
I know you're busy. Busy painter, busy artist. Hi, how are you?
Just fine. How are you doing?
Good, I'm doing great. Brain Stew is so excited to be here. Now, first of all, we're here at, it's spelled D''ART. How do you pronounce that?
Well, I say Dart, but I think they really like D-Art. It's supposed to be like a French.
Like the art, and
Yeah.
it's the Art Center here in Norfolk, Virginia.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about it. Who's here? Who's at the Art Center?
There are a little over 30 artists who are here, and they're juried in to the center by a jury that says, yeah, we like your work. And we have painters, ceramic people, watercolorists, jewelers.
Even really?
Yeah, jewelers, yeah.
So all
People-
types of artists, then,
Right.
not just painters like yourself. You have beautiful work, I have to
Thanks.
say. Now, what kind of artist are you?
Well, I like to think I'm a painter first, an oil painter.
Oil, okay, so you
Yeah.
paint with oils.
Right. And that's what most of these are, but I mean, I love to draw. I love playing with paper mache. Just about anything that you can play with, I just enjoy playing.
So Ray, level with me. What made you become an artist?
Oh, well. When I was a little kid, I was like the artist in every classroom. you know.
Really?
Yeah. And
Always drawn when you weren't supposed to be?
Always drawing. I even drew on test.
You really? Glad I wasn't your teacher. No. Now I know you teach some classes. I know you teach adults, but we know we're not really talking about adults on the show. They're great and everything. We're talking about kids. You teach the kids, right?
Right.
What do you teach in your art class?
Oh, well, that class particularly was a drawing class, and they were trying to learn about perspective, but not about perspective and, you know, the like an architect would use.
Okay.
But perspective as a way of creating space. And learn eventually that things of the same size, if it's big, it's close to you, and if it's little, it's far away.
Okay.
But what if you got a little fish swimming in front of a big fish? How do you tell that? You let them overlap. Let the little fish overlap in front of the big fish.
You were teaching kids this?
Yeah,
That seems very
yeah.
complicated. Is
Yeah.
it easy to teach?
It's easy.
Can I be an artist?
I think anyone can. It takes a little understanding, some principles, so either a book or a teacher. And there are a lot of great art books. I mean, you don't have to have a teacher. So, you know.
You want to have a teacher, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want those teachers. They're good.
But books are great.
That's right. Books are great, and you got to be able to read them. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think that's what school's about, is teaching you to go to the library in a lot of ways.
That's right.
So with a little bit of background knowledge and a lot of practice, anyone can do it.
Great. Oh, good. That gives me some incentive. I always thought that I was stuck with drawing those stick figure people. Ray, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I learned so much here. I'm all with these art students over here. I feel like, but I thank you. I really appreciate it. Brain Stew was really glad to be here.
Thank you.
Good.
I'm going to show you how to use water to separate light into its different colors. This is what you're going to need. Water, a flashlight, construction paper, scissors, masking tape, a glass, a desk or a table, and a helper, and a piece of white paper. White. Hello, white. Thank you. Here's the procedure. Trace the flash. Here's the procedure. Trace the flashlight. Trace this end of the flashlight with the light in it onto the construction paper. Now, cut out the circle. Fold your circle in half. Cut a very thin slit down the middle, centimeter away from the edge. Now you're going to take the flashlight with the light on it, the end with the light on it, and tape the paper to it. Make sure it fits. Next, put your glass of water on the edge of your desk or table. Hey, that's not for drinking. Have your helper hold the white sheet of paper next to the glass, like this. Now, kill the lights. Or, shut them off. Boo! Oops, sorry. Hold the flashlight at an angle to the surface of the water. You might have to change the angle of the flashlight and ask your partner to vary the position of the white paper. And now the results. A spectrum of colors is seen on the paper. Why does this happen? Well, the white light contains all of the spectrum colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Hey, that's like a rainbow. Light can be separated into a spectrum of colors by passing it through different substances, such as water or glass. Light must be refracted, bent, or spread out in order to be split into a spectrum. Scientists use this property of refraction to determine the density and composition of materials through which light can pass.
Since we're talking art, I figured, where could I take you? Well, a museum? Yeah, well, we've been there. We're in the graphic arts department here at WTKR News Channel 3. I'm with my friends. Ellen, she does the webpage. This is Tim. How you doing? And that's John. They're my buddies, and we're going to talk to them in just 1 second. We're going to start with John first and find out what they do on Brain Stew. You know those cool graphics? They do it. This is them. These guys are really busy, so we're just going to take a minute of their time. You know, they don't just do Brain Stew. They do all the graphics for Channel 3. John, I got a question for you. What is graphic art?
Graphic art is where you try to get across a message with images. It can be painting, drawing, animation, in our case.
So that's what we consider the graphic arts then for Brain Stew, or it's considered animation?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is kind of your setup here. So this is like your drawing board, I guess?
Yes, this is what I would draw on, and whatever I draw here will show up on a screen.
Oh, that's great. What are some of the things a computer can do?
When you open it, you'll notice that the bee comes out of a tunnel and moves through the scene of the arms and television screens.
All the TV. This is so great. This is like behind the scenes stuff. I mean, this is like pre-Brain Stew. What about some other things I see in the show? I also see the names that come across the bottom of the screen, the brain strains, the try this, all those neat things. Do you do all those?
No,
You've done enough. You've got tons to do. So who does all that?
that would be Tim.
Tim. How you doing? I'm going to move over and speak to Tim. Tim, how you doing?
Great, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Now, you're a graphic artist also.
Yes, I am.
Okay. How did you get started in this whole business?
Well, I got started a long time ago when I was just a kid. Mom and Dad bought me a little sketch pad, and I've been tracing I should say I started tracing comic books to drawing anything outside.
Tim, I was talking to John about what he does, and he's got the bee down, he's
Yeah, he
got the, the whole machinery and all that stuff down. What are some of the other things that you do?
Well, hopefully people, the kids who watch this, notice the brain strains, the multimedia minutes, the would you believes, the
Try this.
names at the bottom, the
Yep.
try this, everything that you see, the animated backgrounds, the little animations that you see, everything that takes place inside the show is what I do.
When we started Brain Stew, you guys told me to stand in front of this huge green board and act crazy.
Yeah, exactly. What we did with
Felt
that
really
is that
silly.
that's called that board, that huge green board is called a chroma key. Basically, what we do, we put you on there, we shot you, and basically we took you over to this machine here, and then we cut you out. So actually, this is you.
And there's the green board.
There's the green board, but actually I cut the green board out and made another green board that pops better.
Oh, okay.
It looks better. So I cut you out, I put a green border around you, and then boom, I put you on an element.
Yeah, these dots, you did this? You did
Yes,
all this?
exactly. We put, John and I actually, we both worked on that together here. Basically, this is animated. This moves in the background here, and this moves as well. So, for example, I animated some different elements here. See that coming in right there like that?
Uh-huh, this little finger?
Exactly, little finger. We have cream and milk. It's dealing with a story about solutions.
Exactly.
So what I did is I animate them in, bring them in slowly, see? And then the hand moves, and I bring in the cream that's supposed to rise to the top.
And you did the coloring.
Pretty snazzy, huh?
Yeah,
Moves
you're
right
good,
up to the top and stops, and then keeps animating. I don't have to use paper, I don't have to use paints, I can create whatever I want to right on the screen. And it's so fun just doing it, it's a thrill. And if I ever got sick and tired of it, I hope there's something else that's just as fun as this. But
So you don't really consider your job then?
no, I love it, it's great.
So that's the show for this week. We've only etched the surface of art for this week. But anyway, there's so many things you can do. Pick up a pen or a pencil, piece of paper, and draw something. It's art, express yourself. It's really fun. And come to the Chrysler Museum of Art or your own local museum. There's so much to see and it's fascinating. I'm starving. I've got to go feed my brain. See you next week on Brain Stew. And she's also an artist. Let's go take off and go meet her and talk to her. Classic art. Look out. You just bumped into Hey, don't ruin my art! Look at that was my art!